We're here.
Of course! Bowling! Bowling there! Come bowl now! Get your bowling! Who's ready? Bowling!
With Charmin Ultra, less is more.
I'm on jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Stainless steel was in
Beats by Dre.
Smoky Mountain Memories.
Remember when Bobby Boucher showed up at halftime and the Mud Dogs won the Bourbon Bowl, do you?
Under Armour boys, we protect this house.
Well, I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.
Remember what we're fighting for. Meet me on the
Welcome everyone to this year's TCAA Playoff Committee show. I want to thank everyone for a very good 2018 year. It's been very, very exciting. So thanks for everyone who has been participating this year. I would like to introduce everyone to who we have on our playoff committee. First off, we got me, myself, the Commish Bromy, David, University of Economics in the Big East. I'm just going to go straight in order of how I see everyone's photo on my screen here. So from the Big Six, we have the South Texas Raiders. Brandon, how's it going today?
Going good. Have a little cough, so I might be muting in and out. But other than that, ready to get things going.
Sounds good. We got Drew, president of Delta Tai Chi, who I'm sure will be hearing about. Whatever. I do it all the time. I'm doing it for 5 years, damn it. Either way, well, I'm sure we'll be hearing him voice his opinion about his school later on this evening. As he is one of the higher ranked teams that I'm sure is going to be up for debate of where they're placed. How's it going tonight, Drew?
It's going, and I will keep my mouth shut about my team.
I'll just call it Delta Tau. What is it? Delta.
It's Delta Tau Chi.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go call you Delta because you're only Delta on the line right now.
Yeah.
All right. We got Robert Brock from the SEC. He is the Dr. Watson's Medicine School of something. He keeps changing his name on me. Go on, Brock.
It's good. It's good. Ready to get this started.
All right. And then from the Pac-6, we have the Greenville Green Devils. Ryan, how's it going, Ryan?
It's going good. Ready to go.
Right dog.
And then finishing it off, we've got Tyler, president of Nova Southeastern Sharks from the Big East. How's it going, Tyler?
Good. Ready to get this thing going.
All right. Well, thank you all for participating in this year's playoff committee. Some of you have done it the last couple of years. Some of you are new to it. So I hope you guys who are new enjoy how this process goes. For you old dogs, like I think it was 4 of us have done this before, y'all know what to expect here. So we'll get this party started. We did the introductions. We're going to do the bowl game order in this fashion. We're going to do the non-TCS games. Then we'll do the non-playoff TCS games and the Final Four, and then the toilet bowl, and then we're going to get out of here for the evening. So, really, there's no which one of these years will actually kind of place a conference per each bowl. That might be something down the future. I don't think it needs to be in the next CBA. We can do that really, in my opinion, anytime, I guess. I don't know. That could be a CBA thing 5 years from now. So we'll just start off with the Beats by Dre Bowl. We'll call it this one, Beats by Dre. Thank you for the sponsorship, Dre. So what is a non-TCS matchup that everyone would like to see?
Oh, wait a second, real quick. We're gonna go from the lower bowls up.
Yes.
But what if then we don't agree on the 4 teams that are remaining? You know what I mean? Like if we put them already in a, you know what I mean? Like if you do it that way, the 5th team might not have a bowl. You know what I mean? If they don't get in those Final 4.
Ooh, I kind of agree. Let's do top 4 first.
That's why we have this discussion, folks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if we keep a team out of the bottom bowls, thinking they're going to be in the Final 4, and then they're not in the Final 4, then they're not in a bowl at all. That kind of sucks.
I think
I was thinking that.
Drama. No, we're not going to go for drama this year.
I mean, we
have
can't
drama. Or there's still going to be drama.
Just play it in reverse order.
Oh man!
Like when you do your thing or whatever.
We'll figure that out. All right, we'll go from the top.
I would say we can. I would say we can check off the few teams who are in that conversation, so then we just know to ignore them the rest of the time.
Could do that. I think we probably can easily go on the top 4. I think when we go to maybe those other TCS games, might be
Yeah,
where the
but
issue is that he's got. So I could see that. I can see
yeah,
us doing that.
I think you could do the the lower teams first, and then get your top 4, and then your remaining TCS bowls, so to speak,
Right.
because those are all going to be
That's-
pretty much the same group of teams.
All right. So pre-production meeting did not go as planned there. So
Why?
we will adjust what we're doing. So where are we starting? What do you guys think? Should we list the top 4 that we think, or are we gonna go?
I think we should do top 4 and then go toilet bowl, and then we'll go from there.
Well, he wants to do the toilet bowl last, but I agree. I think we need to do the top 4, and then we can work our way up from there.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk top 4 then. Let's go with the top 4 seeds. I think 3 of them are without a doubt. I don't think there'll be any discussion here, except for how I guess maybe we seed the top 3. But I would say the way I have it, and we'll all discuss this, I have Samurai Jackson U as the top seed, number 1. And then I had Delta Tau and Tedzilla 2 and 3. So how is that with you guys? Any discussions?
That's how I had my ranking. I had Samurai Jackson, then Delta Tau, then Tedzilla.
I've got Tedzilla at 1. They're on a 6-game win streak as opposed to Samurai's 1-game win streak.
Well,
Tedzilla just
lost their
Conference championship.
yeah.
Did they? Yep, I filled them as a win.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got Samurai 1, and then I didn't really split hairs with Tedzilla and Delta because either way they're going to play each other, whoever's 2 or 3. So
Same here.
Yeah, to me, I had, of course, the Pac-6 team, number 1, but I had Delta as 2 from the head-to-head and better finish.
That's how I had the 3. I had Delta with 2, Tedzilla as 3, based off.
I won't vote on me, but like I said, I had it as Samurai's 1. I put Tedzilla as 2, and I put me as 3. So
there's no home field advantage, so it's not too.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Anything. So I feel we all can agree.
Yep, I agree with that.
Delta.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep.
That's kind of how I felt that was going to go. But now I guess we're going to get into the fun, which is
So wait, we're putting Delta at 2, right? Is that what we're agreeing on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we can agree with Delta 2, Tedzilla 3, Samurai 1. And I think
Yep.
now is when we're about to have some fun in figuring out who is the number 4 seed.
yeah.
So who would like to go first with who they feel deserves that 4th spot?
I'll go first. Delta. I believe it's Ron Swanson because of the conference total wins over Boats and Hose, because the total wins in his conference were, I think, by all teams in the conference were something like 7 or 8 more wins. So tougher conference. That's half your schedule. So I went with Ron Swanson.
All right. Anyone else have any other opinions about Ron Swanson? Anything they have as a 4 seed?
Well, I agree with what he said, that the conference was better because technically everybody in the SEC qualified for a bowl game because everybody was 5 wins in that conference. Whereas where I think the Big 6 had 1 team who didn't qualify, so I can agree with that point.
yeah, I mean, obviously the SEC is tough, and I'm in the bottom of that at 5 and 7. So, but looking at, I mean, Ron Swanson, I didn't see any yes, our conference is tough, but I didn't see any really big wins over any big teams. So I'll throw in the 5-loss team, I have MC State as number 4. They won their conference. They beat Delta Gamma. They beat Tedzilla, who we already have as number 3. So, to me, they've got quality wins. Also, if you look at where were they? The strength of schedule. They were ranked 12th for strength of schedule, which was tougher than Ron Swanson, tougher than Boats and Hose. And so, yes, they have one more loss, but they faced a much tougher schedule. And they beat, in my view, they beat Gamma and they beat Tedzilla, which are 2 quality wins. And they won their conference.
That's a damn good argument.
That is a great.
Those are solid points.
Yeah.
That's almost a mind-changing argument.
Coming in strong, Brock. I like it.
Yes, very strong. Oh.
How does everyone feel about that?
I'm actually now on Brock's side.
I've got Boats and Hose as my number 4. And kind of what did that for me was looking at their all-play record throughout the year. They were second best behind only Samurai Jackson on the season.
Alright.
And that was kind of one of the main things I looked at there when kind of deciding between them and Swanson was my next one out.
Yeah, I kind of was looking at the same thing. I think that it was between Boats and Hose and Ron Swanson, but I kind of gave Boats and Hose the edge because I felt like over the course of the season they were more consistent, that they were constantly scoring and winning better matchups. I mean, really, they don't have a big statement win. Their biggest win, I guess, would be against the Volunteers, who Ron Swanson beat twice, I believe.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Ron Swanson has beaten them twice.
I think they were ranked 2 when they beat them. So
Yes.
it was like big wins for them at the time.
And
Yeah.
Volunteers is still 7, so that's a big win there.
yeah, but that was just kind of my thing, that they had been really more consistent if you look at it throughout the course of the season.
Yeah.
And I try to put up the Big Six bias out the way, but it would also be nice to have a Big Six in the Final 4. But yeah, but the argument that Robert made for NC State is pretty compelling, though. I will say that.
It changed my mind.
Yeah, I almost want to look back and re-look over again just what NC State did, just because I didn't even have them in the discussion for this 4th seed, but very compelling argument.
My only problem with MC State is that their non-conference record is pretty weak. 3-4. It's below par.
That's true. But when it came down to conference play, I mean, they lit it up.
And the ACC is strong, so.
Yeah, they've got, I think, 3 ranked.
They're top heavy. But.
So, yeah, I mean, for me, when I first sat down to look at the 4th seed, I looked at MC State, and, I ended up narrowing it down to MC State, Boats, and Hose. But when I first looked at it, I included Ron Swanson, and I actually included Gamma. So I looked at all 4 of those teams and narrowed it down to MC. For me, I narrowed it down to MC State and Boats and Hose. And then I was just looking at, like, for Boats and Hose, they won their conference, but the only team that stuck out to me that they beat that I think at the time was ranked was like No Sankey. So the teams that MC State beat, or the quality teams that MC State beat, and looking at where they ranked in strength of schedule, just for me, it kind of sold it. I mean, yeah, they got 5 losses, but they had a tough tough schedule.
Yeah, and when you said they're out of conference schedule, three of the 4 losses were to currently ranked teams, which was Samurai Jackson U, Volunteers, and Delta Tauchi. So I mean, that's 3 of their 5 losses have been to 2 teams who were already confirmed are going to be fighting for the championship.
You said they lost to Volunteers?
Yes, they lost to Volunteers. This is MC State.
Boats and Hose beat Volunteers by 70, and they lost to Delta by 3 at Delta by 3.34.
Yeah, that's why the home field advantage. That's why
one argument.
Well, it doesn't matter. I still would have won 0.34.
He still would have won, but he played those teams. He beat one of those losses NC State had, and then played our number 3 team. Probably one of the closest games of the season for any game.
One of the things I did, what made me go against Boats and Hose for that number 4 slot, was the fact that they lost in conference to South Texas and to Team Dynamite.
Sorry.
So those are two really bad conference losses, in my opinion, and that's what made me take away. And they lost to Vestal Tech, and then they lost to Delta, which, there's a loss that is fine to be okay with. But their other 3 losses, record-wise, they're not great.
Yeah, that's why
Boats out of the number 4 slot.
I agree with you there, Bromy.
I mean, their wins, they beat the Vols, they beat Telford, who's been in and out of the ranked top 10, and they beat the Big Deal twice, one for the conference and one non-conference, one for the conference title and one that wasn't for the conference title. But kind of a Big Deal hasn't really been. I think they finally may just crack the top 10 in the coaches poll for this last week going into week 12. So even their stellar wins haven't been all that impressive. So that's what made me go against Boats and Hose. So, I mean, I went Ron Swanson. They beat Ran U, who was in the Pac-6. They beat the Vols twice, both times when they were ranked ahead of them, no less. Ron Swanson beat the Vols twice, both being ranked, but ranked less. And then SCLSU, who even had a down year, is still ranked pretty high at one point in time during that, I believe. And their losses weren't the best, but I had Ron Swanson as my number 4 slot. But the MC State argument is still very compelling. It makes me want to listen to more of it.
So part of my thoughts against Ron Swanson kind of goes into the strength of schedule as well, because if you look at their ranking for strength of schedule, they were 25th, so they had one of the easiest schedules.
All right. Oh, you know what they say? You can only play the teams you're supposed to play.
That's true.
Yeah, we do have some ability to change our schedule. So
yeah,
there's also that.
I don't think Ron Swanson. I'd have to go back and check real quick, and I can. But I don't think they agreed to play any. Like they didn't set up their own schedule. I don't believe.
Yes, they agreed to one game. I have a home and home with Ron Swanson, so they agreed to play South Texas.
Yes, Swanson's 25, Samurai's 26, Boats and Hose is 27.
And again, going back to with Boats and Hose too, the thing is, like, yes, they had 2 really bad conference losses, but if you dig deeper, that was the highest that Team Dynamite has scored this season. And when they lost to South Texas, that was South Texas' second highest scoring effort in the season. So even in their losses, they're only losing because the other teams they're playing against are having their best or their second best performances all year long. And in the losses, besides, if they're not losing because of that, like I said, when they lost to Delta, it was a less than 4-point game. So they're keeping it close. They were very consistent throughout the year. We knew what team we were going to get.
That's kind of why I said the all-play record there. Theirs is 2 at 72.4%, where Swanson is down at 67.1%. So they won all-play wise 5% more games that way, which, like you said, shows that consistency.
What week did Boats and Hose lose to me?
I want to say 5.
Yeah, I was still going through and figuring out who my team was then.
Yeah,
I was probably still starting David Johnson, which was a mistake.
You had 132.5 that week, so still not a bad
Yeah,
week.
that's a week for me. I said my top week was 205.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't think we got a contestants number 4 team there yet.
How do we vote? Let's see where we're at.
How's everyone feel about that? Going with a vote right now, or do we have more discussion that we want to do?
Do we want to knock one of these 3 teams out? Because there's been decent arguments for Swanson, Boats and Hose, and MC State. Do we want to go ahead and just vote one out real quick and then decide between 2?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm fine with voting, but I'll start the vote off with that. I'll do Boats and Hose. I'll vote them out.
So we're deciding between Boats, MC State, and Swanson, right?
Yep.
All right. So we got Drew saying no to Boats. All right. What else we got?
I would vote Swanson out.
All right. We got Brock with Swanson. Who wants to go next?
I'm gonna say Swanson's out for me too.
All right. That was Brandon, I believe, right?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not for recognizing your voice well. All right. Tyler and Ryan, who wants to go next?
I'll probably say. I think I'm gonna say Swanson.
Swanson out. That's 3.
Ooh. That's
Ryan,
it.
how do you feel about that, Ryan? Do you want to?
Well, I mean, 3 of them already. It sounds like Swanson's pretty much been eliminated out of it, I think.
Oh, I mean, it depends on what me and you want to do. We could
That's
take this
true.
thing to another stalemate.
That's true. That's true. We could, but I mean, I think the argument here is right. The better consistent team by the computer is Boats and Hose, and then the conference winner or the person who knocked off Tedzilla, MC State. Seems like that's where the argument lies. To be, do we want to do 2 from one conference? Do we not? Do we want to go with what's maybe statistically the better team or the team with the better schedule? So there's a lot of like back and forth you can do between those teams. Seems like Ron Swanson's kind of a team that's like in between both of those teams in both regards. So it seems like the argument's better with those 2.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
All right, so we're going to eliminate Swanson from the argument. Is that what my take is, correct?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Who voted for Boats? I voted for Boats and Hose, but your guys' arguments are fine by me, so we can eliminate Ron Swanson.
All right, so I think it would be safe to say that Ron Swanson, you're out of the playoff picture, but I have a feeling you're going to get yourself to the TCS bowl games then. So don't feel too bad yet if you're listening or when you do listen. So the next argument is we're basically predicting, I would assume then, who we want to face Samurai Jackson and who do we want to face against Swanson. I would feel then whoever is the loser of this one is going to then face Swanson. How do you guys feel about that?
Agreed.
That's basically what we'd be doing here, since these were the 3 teams that we're fighting over against.
Yeah, agreed.
The 2 that get knocked out should face each other.
Yes.
All right, so here's how I originally had all of this. I had Swanson as 4, and I was going to have Boats versus MC State, which now that won't be the case here. So I want to do quick little research real quick some more on MC State. I'll let you guys talk. As the commish, I should always be the final voice anyway if I need to do anything. So if you guys want to go ahead and discuss what you guys want to do about Boats and versus MC State, I'll let you guys talk real quick.
Well, I'll say one of the things that we should think about is when we did this last year with 2 teams from the Pac-6, but it was both teams were really good. Like, is MC State good enough to be a reason to have 2 from the same conference? I guess that would be the crux of our argument here.
Well, I remember last year the argument was Land Thieves, and Land Thieves, by bar none, just had I think 1 bad week, lost the.
They had a bunch of wins though.
Lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Atlantis was just the overpowering, and obviously at the end of the day, they won the entire thing, if I remember correctly.
Right. Yeah.
So they didn't play in the conference title game, but it was the one game they lost. They didn't need to lose, and it cost them the conference. But they got into the playoffs because the argument was very strong to put them back into it, and there was nobody else strong enough to take them out of it. So, do we put MC State in there after beating Tedzilla? Or we put Boats in there? I like it. What do you guys think?
I'm behind Brock. I'm MC State.
I'm doing some more research real quick.
Yeah, I'm looking some stuff up too, but I love Brock's argument. He makes a damn good point.
I mean, the strength of schedule is there. We've decided that is a huge factor. NC State had the harder schedule, if I'm looking at this correctly, by a landslide. Really, I mean,
a landslide. Yeah, a ton.
They were facing, on average, a 14th to 15th ranked team every week, where Boats and Hose was facing an 18th ranked team every week. So,
yeah, I mean, MC State they had a rough, I mean they played Samurai Jackson and lost. They did lose to Volunteers. They lost to Delta. So, I mean, they had a rough kind of early middle of the season, but then when it got to conference play, like I said, they beat Gamma, Delta Fu Gamma, and then Tedzilla was ranked number 1 going into their conference game. And
before this week, I had MC State at 11. I think the overall coaches poll had them at 10. I can't see how you can move them to the playoffs.
Yeah,
even though they beat that high of a team.
That's kind of where I'm at too. Like, yes, it was a great win, but the coaches poll had them ranked 12th. So the coaches poll was lower than the actual top 10. So they only got into the top 10 because of the power rankings.
To me, if anything, it puts them in a non-playoff TSPN with that win. Because before I had them playing, I had them slotted in the Beats by Dre Bowl before they won that game. Because that was the one I had off thinking that Tedzilla had won. But once I refigured that, to me, that just moved him up into a TSPN game. I can't move him up 7.
Yeah, that's my thing too. Like, I had him actually number 10 in my or number 8 in my poll actually, but I had both toes ahead of him. I just think it's too much. It's a big jump. Yes, it was a very good win, but I mean, and I think they would have won regardless. But if you want to look at it, technically that was Tedzilla's lowest scoring output. But I mean,
Tedzilla was weakened in that game for sure.
Yes, but I mean, NC State did drop 174. But like I said, I think consistency. If we look at the consistency, and yes, they played in a weaker conference, but Bolton Hill still won their conference championship, and they still have throughout the season been one of the highest scoring teams. So I think we can't leave them out. That's just my case right there.
Yeah,
that's another great argument.
Oh, I just doing a little research there. The one thing I will say with Boats and Hose is that their average points for per week are pretty strong at 150.
Yeah.
Which is at that might be they are second in the league on points for average.
Only behind Samurai Jackson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Same, and that's where I was talking about with that all play also. There's only 2 teams above 70%, and that's Samurai Jackson and Boats and Hose with a 1% difference.
So we're talking about putting the top 2 power ranked teams against each other.
Yep, first round of the playoffs.
Oh, that sounds pretty good. Damn good.
Man, that does sound good.
Yeah, I think with MC State's conference, I looked at them winning their conference championship as not as their ticket into the playoff, but rather them securing a spot in a TCS bowl, like beating Tedzilla. Because if they would have lost to Tedzilla, there could have been a chance that they missed out on a TCS bowl. But since they won, I think that catapults them into a lock for that part. And I just think Boats and Hose is the clear number 4 team.
Yeah, my vote's actually going to go towards Boats and Hose too, because I cannot get, as much as Brock, I love your argument, I cannot get over the 3-4 non-conference record.
I just can't move them up that far in my ranks. I actually still had them behind Swanson and Delta Fu.
Yes, I believe I believe I had MC State behind them as well. Let me double check right quick.
Yeah, from what I had slated in as my predictions, I had Swanson and Delta Fu as the first non-playoff game.
Well, see, I mean, just kind of head to head, Delta and MC, because they had played and MC State had beat Delta Fu, so that's why I ranked them ahead of Delta Fu.
Well, that's a damn good argument. They look at that in real college selecting. So.
Yeah, but again, I just looking at the numbers, I just feel it's almost unthinkable to leave arguably the team that's been the most consistent, the second. If we look at the numbers, the second best team, who the only again them and Samurai Jackson are the only two teams who have an above 70% win percent in all play, which is insane, and they're the second highest points for week to week. It'd be pretty ridiculous to leave them out of play. And I mean, they're a conference champion. Granted, it was a weak conference this season, but still.
They check all the boxes.
Yes, they check all the boxes.
I think I like it. I think I like Samurai versus Boats.
I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm good with Boats. Like I said, I was debating between MC and Boats and Hose. Those were where I narrowed it down to. I'm okay with Boats at the 4th spot. So I just when I just like the gut looking out, I was like, they beat Tedzilla, who was number 1, and they beat Gamma, who was ranked like top 5. So
top 5 a lot too.
Gamma's just such a weird team for me this year.
So
Tedzilla's 2 losses are me and MC State.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm okay with Boats and Hose at the 4th spot if that's what we want to do.
I'm cool with it.
That's where I'm at with it.
That's where I was at.
I like it.
Bromy, you're the commish. You make the final gavel call.
I say we do it. I think I like this. I think we got Samurai Jackson versus University of Bows and Hose. And then we have Delta Tau versus Tedzilla playoffs.
I like it.
I like it. And that basically then sets in another TCS matchup. We agreed that we would go Swanson and MC State, correct?
Mm-hmm. Somebody had an argument for Delta. Who?
I said that's how I had it before, but yeah, I'm good with it since I didn't expect MC State to be even in the conversation for TCS, but since there was a strong case, I'm good with that against Swanson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't
had in my postseason top 10, I had MC State at least 7, going from 10 to 7, skipping the idle. I mean, they did beat Tedzilla, so they were going to then find themselves some way in one of those other 4 games or other 4 spots in those 2 games. So
okay,
7th where I have them in mine also.
Yeah, I have them 7 as well, but I'm fine swapping because I have them 7 and Delta Fu at 6, but I'm fine swapping them.
That's how I had it as well.
All right. Well, let's finalize those top 2 bowls, the playoffs, and then we'll finalize one of the TCS, and then we can go down to, if you guys want, to those other 4, and then go back, or we could do whatever.
I feel like maybe we've talked Delta Fu already. Sounds like they're. Are they? Do we have any? I mean, sound like they're in a TCS game. The other one. I mean, they had.
I think
yeah.
that should be. Yeah.
I have the other one.
Okay. I mean, we might as well just find them their opponent, in my opinion. If we
Yeah,
feel like
that-
we're
let's do
already
it.
going to be in there.
I think they're lacking, but I think their opponent is going to be up for debate because there's some really good who could potentially make a TCS.
I think we're about to have the next debate right here.
Let's do it. Let's freaking do it.
faces,
Name those
Delta Fu.
bowls. Name those bowls that we've got done, bro.
So, as of right now, the TCS Huckleberry Bowl. Wait, before I do that, all agreement, correct? We're all good with
Yes.
what we have so far.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So Huckleberry Bowl. Number 1, Samurai Jackson versus University of Bows and Hose as their number 4 team. In the TCS Under Armour playoff game, we have number 2 Delta Tau versus number 3 Tedzilla. We have then also agreed with the TCS, and I'm putting this in the Smoky Mountain Bowl. It doesn't really matter here. This is the way I have it listed next. You know, if you guys want it to be the Bourbon Bowl, say if you wanted to. This part doesn't really matter.
That's fine.
The only one that really matters, I guess, however, is when we do the playoff ones. But Smoky Mountain Bowl, I have that as Ron Swanson Carnivores versus MC State.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So now, are we in the agreement once again that Delta Fu is going to make it into this next TCS game? We're just deciding who their opponent is.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's have at it. Who wants to go first with their opponent?
I'll throw representing the SEC, the Volunteers at 8-5. They had a win against MC State. They had a win against, I believe, I just put Delta. Was that Gamma? But
Which one?
No, they beat Delta Tau.
okay, so they beat Delta Tau. So they had 2 quality wins against, two. They did lose to Boats and Hose, and obviously they lost to Ron Swanson twice. But Volunteers is who I have ranked 8th. I've got Delta Fu Gamma 7th. So Volunteers is who I had ranked 8th.
I had the Volunteers ranked 8th as well. I think they had 2 really good out-of-conference wins against Delta Tau and against MC State, who we've already confirmed, but one will be in the playoff, one is in another TCS bowl. So they're against premier teams. And I really think the only knock on them, they were pretty good throughout the season, but they did lose to Ron Swanson twice, so that might sway some opinion. But I also did have the Volunteers as my 8th team.
I had Big Deal with it, but I don't remember why.
Big Deal I had as my 9th team. They lost the conference championship, but they did have a quality win against Greenville Green Devils.
I have Greenville sitting just on the edge. Otherwise, I'd have them in. With not making a conference title game even, it was hard for me to put them in a TSBN bowl.
Yeah, like to me, that's kind of what kept the 2 Pac-6 teams that I was thinking about between Greenville and Lanthines. It's just that they didn't even have a chance to win the conference championship.
Yeah,
considering this the team that played Samurai Jackson really shouldn't have been there if we look at, but that team just caught fire when they needed to. And
yeah, I've got Big Deal or Volunteers here.
I had the Volunteers in the other TCS matchup.
Yeah.
Volunteers sounds good to me after I look at Big Deal's schedule.
Yeah, like to me, Big Deal's just such a confusing team. One week they're beating some of the top-ranked teams, the other week they're losing the questionable opponents. It's just very where I think the Vols kind of started the year off kind of as an underdog. Really, everybody kind of knocked them because of their strength of schedule, but they slowly started kind of making their case, and ended up when it was all said and done, ended up with the 6th strongest schedule. So I think that's kind of what puts it in for me too.
Yeah, but the Volunteer. Yeah, I mean, because I'm a believer in Greenville, but always strong, always good, consistent. But I do see where you guys are coming from with Volunteers.
Do we have any disagreement on the Volunteers being the other TCS matchup? By the silence, I'll take that as a no. So there we are. TCS Bourbon Bowl, Delta Fu Gamma versus the Volunteers.
Oh, I like it.
I like it. That's a pretty solid match.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now it's time to I'll just keep going down the list. We'll do the Toilet Bowl last. What is another matchup that everybody would like to see? We'll just call this one the Beats by Dre Bowl, just because, like I said, there's no conference affiliation in any of these. I'd like to do that eventually. I just don't know how difficult that could become. With the amount of teams we have, I don't know how possible that is, but we'll just call this next bowl game the Beats by Dre Bowl game. And what is a matchup that people had written down that they'd like to see?
I like Greenville Land Thieves here.
I don't not two conference teams. I really see two playing each other. See, I like Greenville
Okay.
Quack Attack.
Yeah, I didn't look at conference teams. I was looking at rankings for that.
I kind of tried not to match. Like, to me, I had Greenville and Land Thieves kind of as 9 and 10, but I really didn't want to create a rematch, so I had Greenville and Nova.
Oh, that's a good one too. I like Quack Attack too.
Yeah.
By strength of schedule.
Yeah, I had Greenville and Nova, and then Quack Attack and Land Thieves. So those are kind of four. I think the next 4 teams in my eyes.
Yeah, so I think we could probably just go with those. We split those up. What do we all think would be the best matchup between those 4 teams? What 2 teams playing each other?
I had myself Nova against Big Deal just because, like you said, both of us kind of won big games and lost against teams we shouldn't beat. So I thought
have these teams played each other yet either? Let's look at that.
I can check real quick.
I know I tried to pay attention to if they played each other already in this season. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, Nova beat Big Deal in week 3. So
that's right. I forgot about that.
So personally with me, I kind of don't want to have matches.
So you'd rather play Quack Attack?
I played. I think for some reason I thought I played Quack Attack also, but I might not be right on that.
You played Quack Attack week 4.
Yeah.
I know I had Land Thieves versus Quack Attack when I wrote mine out.
I like that.
I know somebody else already said that too.
I played Land Thieves also, so that one's not a good matchup for me.
Yeah, that's why looking at it, I was like, that's why I had Nova against Greenville because they're both teams in that range, and that's like the only team Nova hasn't played in that range.
These four bowls, we could run it any way we want. They're all equal.
Yeah.
So if we put the number 14 against the number 8, it doesn't matter. It's still let's get an upset, maybe. You know.
Right.
Right.
At the end, it'll just at the end of the rankings may matter, but like right now, there is no rankings after how the conference title game. We're kind of looking at the rankings from after week 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I like looking at this. That's why looking at because there's 4 bowls, so there's 8 available teams. Looking at Nova's schedule, I think SCLSU, Big Deal, Quack Attack, Land Thieves are all, and no Sankey. That's 5 of their 7 out of conference games, which I think all 5 of those teams could potentially be in a bowl game. That's why I was like, Greenville's another top tier team in that range that they didn't play this season. That's why I had that matchup.
What matchup was that? Sorry, I've gotten lost there.
Nova and Greenville, because literally, at my eyes at least, all the other teams that are in bowl contention, you played during the regular season. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I would just say I played a lot of those fringe teams.
Yeah.
All right. So, are we agreeing on Land Thieves versus Quack Attack? Has that been pretty much agreed upon, or are we still in debate on that one? Because I'm hearing the Greenville Nova discussion.
I mean, I'm good with that as long as they didn't play before. I check with them.
I'm pretty sure they haven't. I'm pretty sure I looked at all that kind of stuff. When
Yeah, they haven't.
As well.
They haven't. Yeah, I'm set on Land Thieves Quack Attack.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, and I'm calling that one the Beats by Dre Bowl. That's just the way I have it written in already.
Okay.
Makes myself easier instead of erasing and rewriting things. So now the next discussion was the Greenville versus Nova. Is that correct?
Yes.
How does everybody feel about that? I had Greenville facing SCLSU, and I had Nova facing Telford. Just for no particular reason, but I felt they were the next bowl games, and I wanted to see the matchups, and no real reasons for that, except that's just what I chose because I don't think they faced each other at all this year, and just kind of went that route. But I'm game with whatever you guys also want to do. That's why I like this discussion.
So we're talking about Greenville and
Nova has been what has been the latest discussion.
I'm good
Okay.
with that. Greenville and Nova.
Yeah. Well, don't we have both of them on here?
And
I'm good with that. I couldn't remember if Greenville was on here or not.
Yeah, I'm on here.
He's
Yep.
quiet.
Might as well.
Oh, let's ask them.
How do you feel about this potential matchup, guys?
Yeah, I'm fine with it for sure.
Looks good to me.
That's
I'm
it.
okay with
Silence
Nova.
is so hard to tell. All right. So what we'll do is we'll call that one the TSBN Bowl since Ryan has
Yeah.
slight affiliation to the TSPN beginnings.
Yes, he does.
So we will call that the TSBN Bowl, which is brought to you by, I almost forgot all my sponsorships here.
Uh-oh. You're fired.
That's my bad. Yeah, I don't know how we're paying the bills here. I don't know now. Right. Soon my electricity is going to go off because I forgot to mention who is sponsoring all these bowls. So I made sure I got the Beats by Dre in there. We had the Bourbon Bowl. We had the Smoky Mountain Bowl. I know the TSPN Bowl is going to be announced by myself, David Rome, and first year was Dan Tirico. So that's a great
good old
announcement
Tirico.
duo. Yeah, I'll tell you, the first season of us doing these shows every week, mind you.
Oh, yeah, I remember it. We did it every week.
Did it every week, and we did it for 2 leagues, no less. Was very, very taxing, nonetheless, because Dan came in with stat after stat after stat after stat.
Hey, Drew Gotts is still here, buddy.
Drew Gotts is there. You weren't in the originals, but the very first ones anyway. But yeah, so that's TSPN Bowl. All right, next. Let me cross Nova out there. What is the next matchup everyone would like to see? We've got Lanthes versus Quack. We've got Greenville versus Nova. What's next?
I kind of Brock. What you got? Brock is the studier. I want to hear what Brock's got.
What about Telford versus Big Deal?
That's what I have.
Conference.
That's a conference
dang it.
matchup. That's why I kind of steered from
Conference matchup.
I had SCLSU versus Big Deal
I'm good with that.
because
SCLSU versus Big Deal.
Someone's checking to make sure they haven't faced each other.
no, they have not faced each other.
All right.
SCLSU versus Big Deal have not faced each other?
Nope.
I like that one.
Yeah, because again, to me, they're two teams who they had ups and downs during the year, so it'll be interesting to see which kind of version of those teams show up for their big bowl game.
Very good argument.
Good. How's everyone feeling liking that?
It's cool by me. What are we putting them in, Commish?
I have them in the Jacked Up Bowl, if that's what we're settling on as the bowl matchup. SCLSU versus Big Deal. That would be the Jacked Up Bowl presented by Mountain Dew. Got that one in there.
Yeah.
All right. So everyone is in agreement. SCLSU versus a Big Deal.
Yep.
Yep. Whew. So that means we
Yeah,
My guys.
And it's not I'm a big deal. He's kind of a big deal.
kind of a big deal.
He's a big All right, then. So we've got
One more bowl
3 more
slot.
bowls matched up here. We have one more
That's
bowl
dope.
to decide before we decide who is in the shitter. So, Stainless Steel Bowl. There's no sponsor. Just stainless steel. Don't ask how we came up with that in the very beginning. That's the
Brillo
original-
pads.
I don't know. It must be Brian. That was Brian's idea. Probably got paid by
Yeah.
somebody to agree to that. Anywho, all right. Next matchup. What is everyone seeing? What's everyone like?
I've got Vestal Telford.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have not played during the season. I checked that.
Okay. Real quick, I have Telford too, but also let me just say, even though the South Texas Raiders went 5-7, they had some very impressive wins.
Uh-oh.
They beat Delta
Here it
Fugama and they beat University of Bolton Holes. two teams who are playing in TCS Bowls, barely lost to the number one ranked Samurai Jackson U, and missed out on their conference championship game because of a silly tiebreaker. All I'm saying is give South Texas a chance.
I do have South Texas written down as on a 3-game win streak right now.
Me too. I have them down for 3-game win streak also.
Telford's on the lose 2 and Vestal's on a lose 4.
Peaking at the right time is what I call it.
Yeah, but it's hard for me to vote for a team that only scores 114 points a week.
That is also very true.
Yep.
I mean, it sounds like a shit-tastic kind of a team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Throwing that out there.
We'll see.
When that discussion was brought up, I added them to my list of potential toilet bowl teams. So,
ooh,
wow.
I also had South Texas as a potential toilet bowl team.
I know my toilet bowl. I have it written down, and we'll see though. But
real quick, is toilet bowl is it supposed to be like 2 bad teams, or like the worst bowl game, or what's I never got the
original premise of it was to have the 2 worst teams in the league be in that game just because they were the shittiest teams. Then we realized that we were awarding teams who didn't participate. So then we kind of changed it to be the 2
teams that got shittiest lucks.
Participate. Yeah, who participate, but they just were shitty teams.
Yeah, they got crap luck.
Which kind of how we went with it. The last couple of years, and kind of gone from there. So that's kind of how we look at it. I'm for arguments of, maybe not giving a 3-win team something if we have a compelling argument to give, someone who could have been in a bowl game. But that's kind of the premise of it, was to give just 2 teams who just have had the shittiest luck, bad records. I was in it last year. It sucked. I was very upset with myself, but I did win.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're going to be in it again this year.
I was about to say, at least you won it.
You might be in it again this year.
All right. Woo! I will say I did not put myself in it this year, but I will take, an opportunity. So
yeah, you could have been in it last year and lost that game. So
I had to revenge myself for losing to week 1.
All I have to say is, if you give us the ability to put the commissioner in the toilet bowl, what are we all going to do?
We're going to put the
I kind of got that one, didn't I?
I think it needs a new sponsorship. The David Rome toilet bowl.
the David Rome rounded around the toilet bowl.
I mean, it's a Charmin Extra Soft toilet bowl sponsored by Movie Prep and hosted by Derek Dooley. That's a UT thing, because obviously we're in the state of Tennessee when we did this, and
I'm a Mizzou fan. I'm a Derek Dooley fan right now.
Yeah. So. Anyway, we're getting off the subject. We need Telford's. We're talking about the toilet bowl. We need Telford's opponent in stainless steel bowl.
Yeah, I think for me, Telford was for sure going to make a bowl game, and then the team that they're playing, I'm kind of between Nosanki and Vestal Tech.
But see, I'm with Doseki. I like Doseki.
For both Nosanki and Vestal, I thought about it. They're 6-6. They are both on 4-game losing streaks.
Yeah, I have Nosanki quite a bit farther down my rankings for some reason.
Yeah, but Nosanki's on a losing streak in conference. I mean, obviously that's not a good thing, but the ACC has 3 teams
who are ranked in the top 10.
Yeah.
Something happened recently that plummeted down my rankings.
But at the same time, though,
losing 4 straight.
Losing 4 straight, and the last one they only scored 83 in. So that was when they only scored 83. I said I'm way down my rankings.
Yeah, and also, but every team in Vestal's conference is technically bowl eligible at the same time. So
yeah, but they don't have 2 in TCS bowls and 1 in the top 4.
That is also true.
Just real quick, we're looking at the strength of schedule here. Vestal had the 4th hardest strength of schedule.
And
they were facing an average of a 13th ranked team every week.
And they were Vestal's in the pack. Is that right?
They're in the SEC.
That's what's in
and,
the SEC.
and No Sankey was ranked 21st when it
Oh.
came to strength of schedule. They were facing an average of 16. So I mean that's
That's three. Yeah.
3-point difference. And they both finished 6 and 6.
I like your argument, bro.
Like it.
I didn't want either one of them because they were on a 4-game losing streak. I'm just saying in general.
But strength of schedule means something, brother.
Yeah.
It does. But I mean, that's why we're mad that they're both on a 4-game losing streak. The team on a 3-game winning streak that has a 13th.
Why? Where's you ranked? The strength schedule.
South Texas is ranked.
South Texas is ranked 13th
on a 3-game win streak. We're getting there. We're getting there. It would be
average of 15.
Yeah.
And just to throw this out there, they're on that 3-game win streak. One of those is against Boats and Hose.
And both of those winners were against the teams playing in the conference championship game for the Big Six. # real Big Six champion here.
Yeah, I kind of like.
I'll throw Big Texas a bone. I'll put them in.
Yeah, I like Texas over teams that are sliding in on a 4-game losing streak.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool with that.
See, now I might just ruin it for myself. But the only problem I have is that I would be playing Telford again.
Oh, that's again.
Not a problem for me though, because I already beat Telford. But
revenge game.
Well, we this whole premise we've been keeping.
Yeah, that's why.
Out.
That's why. Like, it would be against what I've been preaching, saying.
Well, now then we got to find somebody who Telford hasn't played.
We can make checking real quick.
That would narrow it down.
Right. Who's bowl? I mean, almost everyone was bowl eligible. I mean, if you look at the other ones with, I think, the ranking, there was RANU. They did play in the Pac-6 championship.
Yeah, I think the other team.
I was actually just about to say RANU.
Yeah, there's Brock. There we go.
Yeah.
Because they did beat Land Thieves. They did beat Nova. They lost their conference title game.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's why. Like, honestly, I'm kind of with you guys saying that. Granted, that No Sankey and Vessel finished 6 and 6, but they're just the losing streaks that they're on is kind of making me pivot in a different direction. And Ranju really came out of nowhere to somehow steal an appearance in the conference championship game.
I did that about 3 seasons ago, bro. Remember that? And I won it.
I think Rand is one of the most underrated teams in this league. They're 12th in all-play record throughout the year.
So are we saying Texas versus Rand?
No, I think we're going to go
RANU versus Telford.
I think we're going to go Randu versus Telford here. I think that's what makes the most sense. And looking at the all-play too, Randu for the record has a pretty good all-play record.
Telford, pretty good all-play also. They're like 7th, it looks like.
Yeah,
so, that's a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, I think we're set. I think.
Yeah, I like it.
And, I mean, if we're being fair, the Pac-12 was touted as conferences, and they pretty almost ran the gauntlet in the conference. And it was only a 10-point game in the championship. They almost upset Samurai Jackson U. So I think, honestly, Randu deserves it over the kind of struggling 6-win teams.
Commish, it's your gavel.
I like it. If everyone's in agreement, I'm down for it. I'm sorry, Vesta, starting No Sankey. You just lost the wrong time.
Yeah.
I didn't have them. I didn't have either one of those teams in a bowl game to begin with, just because the fact they were on a 4-game losing streak. I didn't have RANU in there. I was gonna put them in I wanted to find them somewhere to go, but I had them as a missing out team. They just would have been on the bubble, but
yeah, I had them on the bubble too. So I'm kind of glad that
I can agree to this. I can agree. If everyone's in agreement, I'm in agreement.
Wow. I'm good, man.
Because pretty much, like, the way I think about it, Randu is like my mirror image in the Pac-6. They won the last 3 in their conference, except they got to go play for a conference championship where South Texas didn't. And
there you go.
And they were competitive in that conference championship game too, against the best team in the league.
All right. I like it.
I can agree. How's everyone feel about that?
I'm in.
Yeah, that looks good.
All right. Well, that is the stainless steel bowl. The last one is now the Shit-tastic Bowl, the toilet bowl. Sponsored by Charmin Extra Shot Toilet Bowl, sponsored by Movie Prep, and hosted by Derek Dooley.
My nomination, University of Thugonomics.
Thugonomics was one of my teams in the Charmin.
I don't know how to feel about this. I don't like being in the game twice.
After our recent discussions, I put Vestal and No Sankey on there, both on those 4-game losing skids.
You know what? That kind of makes
You said skids.
Actually, that kind of makes sense. I mean, they're both.
It does make sense actually.
They're both
eligible.
teams who are both eligible, and they're both kind of struggling heading into bowl season.
Yeah, I would say either them on the 2 4-game losing streaks or Thugs versus South Texas.
Yeah, see, I like Thugs versus South Texas. I'm there with you, Ryan.
God. That was some funny shit. Wait, how did I get back into this discussion?
Go ahead.
I mean, since I'm one of the teams eligible, like I won't comment, but I'm fine with either of the 2 results because they both make sense. It's 2 teams who kind of had bad luck, and then 2 teams who are bowl eligible who are just on horrible losing streaks at the wrong time.
Well, why don't we just invent a Cottonelle wet wipe bowl?
Oh my god. All right, so like it was, I guess, from the way it sounds, we either go Vestal versus No Sankey in the Skid Mark Bowl, or we're going South Texas versus the Thugs, or is there anything else that anybody wants to bring into that as a possible?
No, I like the both of those are pretty fun, but I me personally, I got to go by record, not losses in a row. So I got to put Thug in, and then whatever you guys decide on that. I mean, because Bromy's on his stuff all day long, and he's still only 3 wins.
Week after week, nothing like looking at my freaking bench going, yep, that's about right.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper finally shows his ass.
That should put you in the toilet bowl.
That should put you in the toilet bowl.
The Skid Mark Bowl, if you change it, Dave.
Well, what do you guys want to do? I'll let you guys decide. Sounds like I'm a part of maybe this toilet bowl, so I don't want to have a say in it. I don't want to be, I'm not going to be happy if I'm in the damn thing 2 years in a row, honestly. But I will take it because there are, points in there for recruiting that might be very beneficial to me.
Well, hell, then keep him out of it.
I agree. Keep him out.
Wait. Let's think about this for a second, guys. Do we really want to give him an edge?
With money on.
Obviously, we didn't give him an edge last year. He won it, and he's still 3 wins.
He'd only get an edge if he beats South Texas, which probably isn't going to happen.
Yeah, I don't even know if that'd be a game.
With money on the line, I try and give the game to the bowl eligible team since they do win their entry fee back. But
yeah, that's true.
That's just one of the ways I look at it.
I mean, technically, South Texas was bowl eligible, so I mean,
yeah. I was talking more about throwing Thugs out.
I think we should throw. I'm cool with that. Let's put. I think South Texas should be in the Skid Mark Bowl no matter what.
You want South Texas in?
Yeah.
All right, I'm game with that. So then, who do we find as their opponent?
There?
Who hasn't he played?
I haven't played Vestal or No Sankey, so I mean,
ooh,
those sound like those would be the 2 teams that we've been discussing.
Yeah, yeah.
I would go No Sankey.
No Sankey's a rival of mine.
Same here because hasn't one of those won the championship before?
No, I want to say.
I think Vestal was in the playoffs before, but
Vestal had a 1 year that was unreal.
Yeah,
he went like 12.
He
went 12-1 or something like that, and lost in the. I think he lost in the finals, probably to Lanthieves, because Lanthieves always found a way to get in. This is the first year ever, by the way, that Lanthieves was not in the playoffs.
Yep.
So, I guess we could thank Ran U for that. I guess they were probably the ones that cost him.
Yep.
Ran U was the one who got some, and that's why Ran U earned a bowl game.
Well, I think he would have been in if I didn't beat him at the end.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I think that's actually what happened.
The Ryan Bowl.
Yeah, Ryan, you did win that game, the last game of regular season, didn't you?
Yeah, against Land Thieves.
Yeah, good win. Nice win. That probably helped you too, propel you up.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, it's another win.
It got him into the TSPN Bowl.
They got
Well,
him
that's a good bowl. That's one of the best bowls, man. To me, that's number
Yeah.
3. To me, that's the third bowl.
Yeah, my luck was pretty horrendous this year, so I lost
Yeah, I know,
2 by
right?
the home field.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
yeah. I lost 2 by less than 3 on the road, so that was pretty
that
rough.
sounds like my year last year.
Yeah.
All right, so we got South Texas versus
Who's been a better team? Who's been more consistent over the years? Because they're both old school. They both with us for a while.
Yeah, looking at them, I think Sankey's skid seems worse to me. Like they've been just like, oh.
Yeah, a couple under 100-point games. And
Yeah, like I think Vestal's the better game.
Yeah, Noseki's 21st in power rankings and Vestal's 4. That's the big difference.
I think Sankey will just get killed, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right, I think Vestal.
And I think, yeah, looking at that too, like if we're gonna choose between the two teams, there's almost a 17-point difference in power ranking, and there's where they're at.
Well, let me check something real quick. So it's Vestal, Noseki.
Nostanky is 16.5 and Vestal is 13.0.
Oh, here's one thing that I like. I always look at this. I know some of you guys don't give a crap about it, but I've always looked at it. Average points for and average points against. Noseki is 126.84, 124.2 against. So he's winning. Vestal is 130.44, 135.3 against. So he's at the team's beating him. He's not putting up as many points as on average as the other team.
But he's putting on more points than Sankey.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'd rather put for the better game. If we want to put a better game against Big Texas, that's why I'm saying let's go ahead and do Vestal. The better team.
Vestal's 4 slots higher in all play also, so that's
Yeah.
they're the better team.
Yeah, I really like the all play stat, and Vestal's higher in that stat as well. Again, I think it's just because of their schedule. Maybe they would have won an extra game or two had it not been as tough.
I like where we're going with this bowl too, to more of a not the bottom guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, since money's on the line, giving people back their entry fee, I think.
Yeah, I
The
think
teams that
it should be the bottom of the bowl eligible teams.
Yeah, Ryan, I totally agree.
Okay. So, South Texas versus Vestal is Vestal Tech. Is that what?
Yeah, Vestal looks like they've gotten a shit end of the deal all year. When you're playing games and they're averaging 5 more points than you a game throughout the year. I mean,
yeah.
All right. So we agreement. South Texas Vestal.
Yeah.
All right. Any disagreements on anything we've discussed here? Let me recap the entire bowl landscape. Make sure everyone is fine here. We have the toilet bowl just discussed, South Texas versus Vestal Tech. We have the jacked up bowl, SCLSU versus I'm kind of a big deal. TSPN bowl is Greenville Green Devils versus Nova. Stainless Steel is Ran U versus Telford. Beats by Dre is Lanthys versus Quack Attack. The TCS matchups. Bourbon Bowl, Delta Foo versus the Vols. Smoky Mountains, Ron Swanson versus MC State. And in our playoffs, we have number 1, Samurai Jackson, going against number 4, Boats and Hose. In the Under Armour, number 2, Delta Tau versus number 3, Tedzilla.
My only argument would be that I think Tedzilla should be ranked number 2, not 3.
Well, but you beat them, didn't you?
Yeah. Still, I don't think it matters. They got a better record.
And they lost at the very last game, though.
No,
Yeah.
I think.
No, I know. That's just me arguing against me.
I hear you.
And I mean, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter since there's no home field.
Yeah. No, it doesn't matter. Exactly.
So, everyone in agreement?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
I'm not going to lie, this was a lot easier than it's been the last couple of years for some strange reason. And we had great discussions.
Yeah. Great show. Good job,
All right.
guys.
So, recap it all. So, just so everyone knows, Week 14 is the non-TCS game. So that'll be the Beats by Dre Bowl, the Stainless Steel Bowl, Jacked Up, and the TSBN Bowl. Week 15 is when we do the TCS games. So we'll have the 2 playoff games and the 2 non-playoff games. Week 16 will be the national championship game, the winner between the 2 playoff teams. And then week 17, because it is the shit bowl, it gets the shit possibility of roster picks because a lot of people sit if you have star players. And that's when the toilet bowl we played is week 17.
Please don't sit Drew Brees.
He might be sitting.
There's a good chance he will be.
Yeah.
That's why we put that game.
That's why it's hard to win. It's hard to win that bowl.
That's probably why I won last year, honestly. My team was so shitty that it had all their players to actually play.
That's all right. My other quarterback is my spirit animal, Jameis Winston. We can do that.
That's right, buddy.
Dude,
Jameis
you're
Winston,
so
baby.
screwed. He might not even. He's maybe Fitzmagic will probably be there by week 17 because the Bucks.
Oh, come on.
Come on, leave Jameis alone.
I know everybody's a hater.
Jameis will be auditioning to see if they're going to bring him back for the 5th year or not.
Jameis played unreal and he's been playing good all year. He's had some down weeks because he was suspended for 3 weeks. He was 3 weeks behind.
I agree 100%. Jameis Brown. Jameis from MVP.
I'm a diehard Buck fan, dude. Season ticket holder. So my dad has been for 25 years. So and Jameis Winston's the future. I don't want to see them cut him just like they did Steve Young and Vinny Testaverde.
Did you really just mention Vinny Testaverde in this chat?
Vinny Testaverde threw for 50,000 yards, brother.
Yeah, he played for 30 years. He could still probably play because he's a freaking.
Doesn't matter. He was better than Dilfer.
He's got a Super Bowl. Anywho, so that will wrap all of this up here.
Dilford had Baltimore to carry him.
Yeah.
That might be one of the best defenses of all time.
Rob Johnson also had the Bucks defense to carry him, so I guess you can look that argument.
Discussion for another time.
That's right. All right. So everyone is in agreement for these games, correct? Because I just posted on the band app, so hopefully we all agree.
I don't think it matters now.
So for the rest of the night, I want to thank you all for joining us. Tyler, Ryan, Robert, Drew, Brandon, thank you so much for being a part of this show. It has been very fantastic. Great conversation. I want to argue it might have been the best conversation we may have had overall.
I will second that.
We've had good conversations, but I think overall show, great conversations.
Most intellect. There was the most intellect of this one by far.
No offense to anybody who's been in any other shows who's not in this show and listening now. No offense taken. Hope you have fun. Anywho, so anybody have anything they want to talk about before we roll out on this?
When are we doing the Heisman for the Heisman committee?
The Heisman one we'll probably be doing here within the next week. I got a pretty busy work schedule coming up. Retail is murder, and so I have to work 48 hours for the next 4 weeks.
Yep.
A lot of 12-hour days I've got coming. So, but we'll do the Heisman. I'll probably do that here probably after these week's games. So probably starting next week, we'll do the Heisman stuff. I did have a thought process about the committee finalizing who the final people will be for the Heisman, and then putting it on the band app for the league to choose who they think would be the final. We've never done that before, but it was just a thought. Unless instead of the 4 or 5 of us that are in the Heisman, I think there's just 4, maybe 5 that are in the Heisman committee coming up with the winner. I feel like the winner of that is easy to figure that one out. In my opinion, I think it's gonna be kind of a runaway, but that's a whole different discussion.
Jameis Winston for Heisman. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Hashtag lick the fingers because you're winning so much. So anything you guys want to talk about?
No, the only thing I want to say is good luck, Ted. Good luck, Tedzilla. May the best team win.
Agreed. I guess that's really the only rematch we actually do have.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? There's nothing you can do about the playoffs. I mean, that happens. So, all right.
And thank you, gentlemen, for putting me in. I appreciate it.
You were clearly one of the best teams throughout the whole season.
I want to thank you all for being in this show. Y'all have a good one.
All right.
Closing out. Thank you.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Bye. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Hell Cause ain't nobody